So I am here today on this episode of Connect with Ben Plummer, Senior Director of Application Development at Turner.
Yes.
Wow. How do you get to be in that position?
A lot of luck and willingness to do pretty much anything.
Well, yes. So in all seriousness though, what does that role look like? What is your day-to-day like?
I have a very interesting day-to-day. What my job really is I have two teams that I manage.
Okay.
The first one is a development team. It's about 25 folks. We're responsible for providing about 182,000 live scoring games per year for BleacherReport.com, NBA.com, PGA.com, and NCAA MarchMadness.com. So that's one half of my job. The other half of my job is I'm a QA. I run QA for the sports, entertainment, and adult and youth kids systems for digital. So that includes True TV, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, as well as the 90 plus associated products with all of those groups. So Filmstruck, TurnerClassicMovies.com, lots of different products all over the world.
So with so many eyeballs keeping track of your team.
Yes.
Well, how do you manage that?
I have a lot of help. I've got 3 great managers underneath me that I could not do anything about or without.
It's all about the team.
It's totally about the team. I directly manage about 45 folks. I have 3 of those are managers. The rest are folks that work for me, either here in Atlanta, up in New York, or out in Chennai, India. So what I do is I try and set everybody up to succeed. That's my goal, and try and empower them to do their jobs.
Wow. Well, as any great leader should, not to like blow sunshine, but like truly that's what it's all about, is servant leadership, removing obstacles, and making great experiences for the consumers on the receiving end, both ones they can see and then all of the back end.
Absolutely. The back end challenges seem to be the worst, but it is where it is. We spend a lot of time trying to fix problems so people in the public don't see it.
So they never see a problem.
Exactly. Yeah. NBA.com, NCAA.com, March Madness, you will have great experiences, and meanwhile we are in the background trying to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Wow. So how do you manage stress? Like day to day, blood pressure okay? You've got 5 children, right?
5 kids.
Yeah, so a lot going on. How do you decompress?
I will go home and I will actually lie down on the ground and I will have 5 kids jump on top of me. It gives me some perspective as to what's important.
Right.
That's a super great way. If you're stressed, come on down to my house. You can lie down and have 5 kids jump on.
Invitation's open.
Absolutely. But I kid you not. It's the stress is real. The stress is there, especially during major tentpole events. Major tentpole event would be something like March Madness, an NBA season start, an All-Star game, even upfronts for our entertainment clients as well. You manage it. It's part of the gig.
Right.
You can't be in this position and freak out about something that is relatively small, even though it's out in the public.
Right.
You learn to temper really your reactions a great deal if something does go wrong, because the people that work at Turner are so great. They punish themselves more than any manager possibly could.
Yeah.
They feel so bad if anything goes wrong because they're so proud of the brands that they work with, and they're so proud of working at Turner. So my job is a lot of protection to make sure that if somebody is angry, they can come and yell at me. I don't have a problem if a client yells at me at all. That's my job. Let's let the developers fix the problem.
Right.
You can yell at me all you want, and while you're yelling at me, they'll get it fixed.
That is a great perspective. We need more people like you in the world.
There are a lot at Turner.
Turner's great. As somebody who the city of Atlanta is very near and dear to my heart, obviously Turner is a huge, component of that. With the fact that everything, the only thing constant is change, especially in the world of technology.
Yep.
How do you stay on top of the latest trends, the latest threats, anything from infrastructure to who knows what's next? Like how are you staying informed?
It's a constant thing. You rely on other people a great deal. We have a wonderful information security office that is all over security at this moment in time. When it comes to new trends, we have product people that are constantly pushing the edge. We have plenty of third parties that will come to us and say, hey, we've got a brand new Alexa app or a Google Home app, or we'd love to take the NBA and go put it out onto Apple Watch or whatever else. So we're constantly bombarded with this is what's new and this is what's exciting. The challenge is how do you take those things, sift through it, find the diamonds, and monetize it?
Yeah, it's funny as I was asking that question, I'm like, they don't have to go look for anything. It probably all comes to them.
We have to look for a lot because again, there are plenty of times when people come to you and say, well, we can go do this. I'm certain that they can, but can they do it at our scale?
Right.
We have, for example, CNN, 35 million people visit it every day.
Whoa.
That's a big difference in scale than, okay, I just built a website that's for an HOA or something like that. So we worry a lot about scale and speed at scale.
Oh my gosh. Can you divulge any personal nuggets of like, when you wake up in the morning, obviously there's children and maybe you meditate, maybe you work out, whatever, but like, what are you reading? Is it Mashable? Is it TechCrunch? Is it some cool secret trade publication I don't have access to? Like,
I have RSS feeds that feed in Mashable, feed in TechCrunch, feed in Wired. It feeds in just about every single technology, blog that's out there. The hard part is reading through it all.
Yes.
I can't possibly read through it all, so I filter out those things that are not interesting to me, and I try and consume as much as I can.
Do you have Google Alerts set up for anything in particular, or lots of things?
I don't have any Google Alerts set up right now for any of those things because I'm truly consuming a lot more RSS feeds, and if anything really does come up, I get CNN alerts, I get alerts from CNN Tech, I get alerts from lots of Bleacher Report alerts. Go Falcons.
Yeah.
But it's if I set those up, I would be constantly bombarded.
Truly.
Because things are changing all the time.
And it's hard to think strategically when you're constantly being reactive, whether it's physically or mentally. And it's draining. So you've got to be very careful with your time, where you're spending your mind share. And everything you talk about keeps going back to team, and more team. Talk about the culture at Turner. How do you foster that culture of teamwork and innovation?
Sure. That's really challenging. Turner's an interesting beast. Most people don't know this. Back when Ted Turner started it a bunch of years ago, he believed in competition. And so all of our brands, NCAA, NBA, CNN, TBS, TNT, TCM, True TV, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, they're all in competition with one another. And it's not because they are taking resources from one another or anything like that. What they're doing is they're trying to get the largest market share that they possibly can. And if you think about it, they all have subtly different types of markets that they're targeting. So collectively, it's an impressive unit. The challenge for us as a shared service, again, we're providing live scoring to Bleacher and NBA and NCAA. We have to be very cognizant of what our culture is, because there's always another group that wants to consume what we have. And so I draw fences. There's an old saying, it says, great fences make great neighbors. And it's true, because when you have a fence, you know exactly where your line is of responsibility, and they know where their line of responsibility is. And I spend a lot of time making sure we know where our fence is and where we need to expand and where we need to contract. And it's always a negotiation. But when everybody knows what they can do and where they can stop, it makes everybody a lot more comfortable.
You know how we were talking about Twitter and Instagram,
Yes.
et cetera, nuggets? That was definitely one of them. That was like a mic drop social media nugget. I'm going to be burning that one into my brain. I like that fences analogy. I always love to ask people who sit in your seat I jokingly call it the hot seat. Hopefully it's very comfortable. What can we do? How can we help you? As you know,
Sure.
the scope that YouTube and just digital has. So who knows who might be watching this?
Right.
So how can we, as a digital community, and hopefully in real life community, pour into you, pour into Ben, pour into what you're doing at Turner? Just throw it out there and see what comes back.
We're looking for talent. There's no better way to say it. There's a war for talent out there.
Mm-hmm.
If Amazon comes into Atlanta, it's going to be a lot worse. But right now, that war for talent also goes back to the culture. And we are in the middle of a massive migration up to AWS. We are taking all of our systems, PGA, NCAA, E-League, our CNN elections, Bleacher Report, NBA. We're taking, on my team, about 18 months to migrate them all up to AWS. And that's been a massive culture change. Mm-hmm. It's not just the technology change, and this is something that I'm passionate about. When you have a major technology change like this, you also have to have a major culture change. Because now the responsibilities are, I can do the networking, I can do the serving, I can do the app layer, and I can build the actual app itself as one person. So now that one person has the ability to do what 3 or 4 groups within Turner used to do.
Wow.
How empowering is that? It's awesome, but it also means I got to pay them a lot more. So how do we deal with that? How do we go from a traditional stack on-premise to out to the cloud and continue to promote excellence? Because again, live scoring, we can't have any delays. We can't have any type of issue with the scores getting out there, the schedules getting out there. And we're doing this massive change. And so the analogy was that I sold this to the executives was, we're flying a plane at 500 miles per hour at 35,000 feet. So I need another group of people to come in and build another plane at the exact same time while I'm flying this one. As it turns out, I had lied to them by accident. So the problem is that I'm flying this plane, but I have to build this plane, but what I didn't know at the time, I also had to build the landing strip, the airport, the con tower, and all the services as well. That's what AWS is. And that's why we're looking for talent right now.
Wow. That was a great answer. Yeah. So if you're watching right now and you think you're a fit for Turner, especially what they're doing, I know someone.
It's not just me that's hiring over there too. There are a lot of people hiring AWS experts or even people with AWS experience right now.
Wow. Wow, very cool. Ben, is there anything that you want to leave us with? It's just so cool to have you here in studio and be having this time captured on camera. Any nuggets, any wisdom, any leadership advice, any jokes? Where should we follow you? How can we get more of Ben Plummer?
To be honest, I'm not that much out there on the social media, partially because I have so many other things going on with 5 kids and a wife and a job that's 24/7, 365. Social media is something I don't get into a lot. If you contact me on social media, fantastic. I don't have a lot of followers, but that's okay. You can reach me at Turner. A lot of folks know me there. You can just call up and I'll answer the phone. But the thing that I would say is that either you're going to manage your culture as a technical leader, or your culture is going to manage you. And those companies that do it right are those companies that are transformational. Apple, Google, Turner, and you hear about other companies that have not done it so well for years and years and years. And I'm not going to name any of those. But it's so important. If you can find a leader that cares about the culture of the team and will go out and protect the team, that's a team you stay on. That's a team you stick with because that group is going to be together for a long time.
Wow. You just continue to bring the nuggets. Just awesome. Ben Plummer, thank you so much for being here, for your time, for all that you do to make people have a seamless and secure experience. And I hope to have you back in here soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.